It's like Manny's in an interrogation room.
Yep.
So they're gonna like get him to talk. Like there's someone standing behind him with a car battery and some leads.
Yeah. At least they let him trim off his beard.
Yeah. Actually, they didn't let him trim off his beard. What they did is they plucked his beard out.
Oh, there we go.
All right, we're live now.
Yeah. His connection's really bad though. His video's still frozen. So I owe you some money, John.
Yeah. Hey, is it working? How are we doing? It feels like it's doing good. I wrote the emails myself.
Yeah, there have been 29 people that have signed up with the Simple Programmer coupon.
Damn, nice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And the last email just went out now. The last email offended people.
Really?
Yes. I'm getting all these replies back from the last email saying that it's insensitive and I'm unsubscribing from your list. I'm like, what?
I didn't see it, so.
Okay, this is the last email that I sent. Hold on.
I think I unsubscribed from your list a while ago, so.
Okay. All right, here's the email. It says this. Well, this is it, Chuck. If you don't get in now using the code Simple Programmer, your life is going to be ruined. All the cool kids have already signed up for JS Remote Conf, and they're probably going to learn about some brand new JavaScript technology that you'll just have to read about. They'll probably also make fun of you and call you names like Rudolph, the JS idiot. That's right. You'll be left out in the cold to deal with the cruel world of JavaScript all by yourself. No friends, no Douglas Crockford, nothing. Just you and your IDE crying alone in silence. Or you can sign up right now and put in the code Simple Programmer, and all your magical JavaScript dreams will come true as you save 20% off the ticket price. This is it. Last call. At midnight tonight, it's over. You will be a pumpkin. P.S. Don't be a pumpkin.
That's funny.
I think it was on the edge of funny and a little too arrogant. So
yeah, maybe.
I think it's really hilarious.
Some people did reply back and tell me that they're unsubscribing from the list and that how could I be so cruel and harsh and how dare I send something like that? And I replied back them with the video message of me doing this. So.
Oh, come on. Your tongue is so firmly in your cheek.
Yeah, exactly. It's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, your copywriter, I think he's been watching Onto Programmers because he stole your Netflix account email before I even had the chance to use it for the mental toughness. I'm like, what? What's this?
That was me. I wrote all the copy for this promotion. This is all my copy for the promotion. Oh, damn, I need to write the copy. Maybe I need to write the copy because we're doing good on the JavaScript. That's not 29 so far.
How'd you guys do?
29 out of 2 emails. The third email just came out this morning, so we should get a
29 sales.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I owe John like $800.
Oh, hang on. That's all?
Yeah, because it's 50%. It's 50% of about $60 because we agreed that I'd pay him after I paid the fees.
So it's $60 the ticket?
Well, with his 20% discount, it is.
Right. Yeah.
And so, just do a little bit of rounding,
$1,800.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. We'll see. I think by the end of today, we will have 40, maybe 50 sales. 40 is my conservative estimate.
So how did your Netflix account do?
The open rate's pretty high. I mean, that was the first email I sent. The open rate is at 22%.
Oh, wow.
And the click rate's at 1%. So 622 clicks on it. So
what about the other 2 emails?
It's too early to tell because the other one came out yesterday and the other one and the last one came out this morning. So
but 22 is normal for you?
I'd say normal is like is probably at the high end 18 point something percent. Okay. So this was higher than.
So it definitely gave it a little boost.
Yeah.
Now all you need to do is change Netflix with your SDG. No,
What's that?
your Cox cable account, or
Oh yeah.
your YouTube account, or your Gmail account, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And just what would have been even better is if you had your Netflix account number 3784352.
Yeah. But anyway, so yesterday gross ticket sales was $1,635. And a good chunk of that was John's email list.
Good. Okay.
When are you closing the sale for it?
I'm letting it run all the way through the conference.
When does that start?
Next Wednesday is the first day of the conference.
How much now? Total gross?
So total gross so far, and it's kind of interesting because I've kind of been fiddling a little with the numbers. So gross so far is $6,600. I paid about $550 in fees, but some of that is like Eventbrite. So initially when I was selling them through Eventbrite was taking a crap ton out in fees. And then when I switched it over to Crowdcast, it turns out Crowdcast takes a fee out on Stripe. What is it? Stripe Connect. So
interesting.
I'm probably not going to do the. I know I'm not going to do the ticket sales through Stripe next time, or through Crowdcast next time. Yeah, and then after I pay John, it looks like my net so far will be about $5,200.
So 6,600. I would assume you will, if it's next Wednesday, you should probably be able to sell $10,000 total at least.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
If you do marketing the right way.
Yeah.
And we'll be pushing. Yeah. I could push one more email tonight, but I don't know. Let's see how this third one does.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide what else I should be doing next week to push the sales.
Send emails.
Send more emails, because I've been sending emails this week too.
How many emails have you sent?
I sent 3 this week. I haven't really sent a ton of emails. Yeah, I mean, my ticket sales just, on regular tickets went way up when I started emailing my list. So I can send a few more emails.
Yeah.
Through next week.
You should send. It starts on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should send 2 emails on Monday, 2 emails on Tuesday saying it's closing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's closing, and it's starting, and it's starting. And even on Wednesday, you should send some saying it started, but you can still get the.
Yeah, you can still watch the recordings.
You can still get in. Yeah, you can still get in. Yeah. Early morning.
Yep.
Yeah. You could think of some kind of bonus, some extra bonus too that you could throw in. That if you really want to, and then you can offer that. Then you can, people that already bought the tickets, you can send them an email and be like, I'm just giving you this for free. I just decided to give this bonus.
Yep.
But if you can think of something that you can value at like $50, $100, that can help you sell some tickets.
Yep.
Idea
Makes
of
sense.
what Brian Kurtz talked about in Over Deliver, 40-40-20 or 41-39-20. That's really it's really like, the more I think about it, the more it becomes like the offer is so much more important than the copy. Right?
Yeah.
It's so much more important than the sales page copy and the email copy. Well, email copy maybe, because email kind of defines the offer and sales page defines the offer, but the offer itself is so crucial. So a bonus is kind of a huge part of the offer itself. So
I am really not good at coming up with good stuff for bonuses, though. I have no idea what to offer people.
You just offer a live call at another time for something specific or whatever.
I could do that.
Or ask one of your guests to host a live call where they can sell one of their products or a webinar or something.
Yeah, I could do that.
Live call on how to host a remote conference.
I could do that.
Probably not something your JavaScript audience wants. But
Probably not.
I think
You
the
could-
easiest to pull up.
The easiest thing would be to give away your book, like a digital version of your book.
Oh, that's true. I could do that.
Yeah, I don't know how much value people will place on that though, but so it might not work as well as a bonus, but you could try it. I mean, it's something that you can give away for sure. That's,
Yeah.
Something that can have the value of around 50, like a book is $5, $10, but if the training is conference is $80 and you offer something that's like a $29 or $49 bonus.
That's true. Well,
or something.
yeah, I could even just do a call the week after the conference and just be like, hey, look, if you're, basically do like a level up your career.
How to get JavaScript
Q&A.
jobs?
Well, just in general, it's funny because I'm starting to see more and more people losing their developer jobs now too.
Yeah.
I guess not funny, but interesting. So I could just get in and say, hey, look.
no, it's too late. It's too late. It's too
I know.
late. You're done. You're done. It's already trending on Twitter.
Yeah. Probably.
You're done.
Can I get that to trend on Twitter before the conference,
Chuck.
though?
Cancel, Chuck.
If they tried to cancel me now, it would probably make me money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
the other thing
Douglas Crockford.
the other thing that I'm also considering, and maybe this is worth putting forward, is so at the conference, I'm basically going to give, I think, those people, some kind of early bird access to, because I mean, if I can make if I can gross $10,000 and I can net, $8,000 or $9,000 off of it every time I do one of these, then doing more of them starts to make some sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be putting up pages for React, Angular, and Vue conferences because I've got a lot of contacts in those areas. And so what I may do is I may just let people know too, look, if you buy a ticket to JS Remote Conf, then you'll get a coupon code for the other conferences.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's think this through. I'm not so sure I like this idea. We went down this road before. You went down this road before, and then you end up canceling all the remote conferences, right? Because you were selling this initially. Okay, if you sell what we're hoping that you'll sell, you'll sell $10,000 worth of tickets, right?
Yes.
And then your net on that might be $6,000 or $7,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Depending on how many of them I'm paying out,
Yeah,
affiliates, stuff like that.
okay, so maybe you make let's say that even if you make $7,000, how much hours and time have you put into this to make the $7,000?
That's true.
I
mean, I'm getting my team trained up so that they can put them on, but I still have to do some of the work.
Yeah, and then not only that, but what's the average price of one sponsorship on your podcast?
Lately, about $1,500.
Okay, so that's okay. So you have to get like 3 or 4 sponsorships.
Yeah.
But the same amount of time might be able to be spent to get 3 or 4 sponsorships. I know right now it's harder to get sponsorships, so that's why it makes sense. I think this makes sense temporarily, right? Like I'm in agreement with doing it now, but I don't know if this makes sense to do going forward unless you're gonna. I mean, because of 2 things. One of them is that the distraction, right? The big thing that you need to do is grow the podcast and get the sponsorship and fill the sponsorships on the podcasts, right? Like we talked about, like the sales.
Yeah, but that's not working right now at all.
But are you doing it at all right now?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're still doing the same process?
Yes.
Okay. So that's not working right now at all. That's fine. Okay. But it should work again.
So is it gone down to 0? Like no sponsorships going through anymore?
I've had a few trickle in, but yeah, not a ton.
Have you reached out to the existing sponsors to sponsor the conference?
Yes.
And did anyone sponsor it?
I had 2 of them, but they were, funny enough, they were people that I had talked to about sponsoring the podcasts, and they opted to sponsor the conference
instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and how much did they pay?
$600 a piece. I couldn't get them to go for even $1,000 sponsorship on the podcast at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. Like, unless you can scale this up, if you could grow this, and you really think you can sell, more and more, I feel
think
like
I can. I really think I can. But the other thing is I can kind of tie the 2 offers together too, and say, hey, look, what you may want to do is sponsor the podcast, leading into the conferences, and then, pick people up on the other end, and start. The other thing that I want to start.
That's true. Yeah.
I also am going to start talking to these sponsors, because I've had a few of them come in and they have this idea that I sponsor podcasts, I get people to sign up. And what I found is that a lot of the sponsors that really have the ROI that they want, what they have is they have a marketing funnel that they're pushing people into with the sponsorships. And so I think I might offer a new level of sponsorship where essentially I build out part of the funnel for them. So I set them up with a landing page, I get people onto their mailing list, and I write a campaign for them. And that way, they are essentially then sponsoring, and they're going to get some of the ROI that they want. And then I can just say, look, so sponsor us, and use the funnel, and then use the same funnel and, and go, attack some of these other media opportunities, and then just keep coming back to us as well, so that we can keep feeding people into it too.
So challenge, maybe just, okay.
Because then I'm offering real value, right? Then I'm offering them what they want. I'm offering them the ROI, the outcome that they're paying me for. But they're going to have to pay me to do that work, because I'm not going to do it for free.
Partner with someone who does that.
That's a good idea.
Don't do that yourself.
And I like that idea.
Yeah, and so you can sort of white label it, right? So I mean, you can basically, and then you take a commission, and this way you've got, because think about it, like a real estate agent isn't like, oh, you need a loan, hold on, hey, what's up? I'm a loan officer too.
now. Yeah.
right. They're like,
and
if
they do pull that, then you kind of go,
but yeah, partner with someone.
No, I like that.
Then you can provide the same value, and that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm more convinced now. Like, if you can scale up the conferences and it's synergistic with your sponsorships, I suppose that makes sense. Makes sense. Just be careful to make sure that it's actually profitable enough that it works.
I'm with you there. But I also feel like, because when I initially listed the tickets on Eventbrite, I sold 44 tickets at $10 a piece.
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like those 44 people, I don't know if all 44 people would have bought, but if all of them would have bought at $75, I mean, I left $3,000 on the table. I'm not convinced that's the case. But if half of them would have, that's still $1,500. So
yeah, I mean, a little bit, but that was worth it for you to validate the idea and all that.
Yeah, I did definitely validate the idea there.
The question you need to start thinking about is what business you're in, right?
Yes, I've been thinking a lot about that.
Are you in the marketing? Like, are you in this podcast? Like, every podcast episode you put out there, you have to start thinking how much value is it generating for you in the long term or the short term, right? Or what's the dollar per podcast episode, or per hour of podcast episode, or per unit of podcast work you're putting into? Whichever way, like, are you a podcasting business? Are you a tech publication?
A
Are
media
you,
company, probably more like a media company.
Which is fair. Like media company is a pretty broad
Yeah, it is.
description. Sometimes a little too unclear. It's almost like the real estate agent saying, "Hey, hold on a minute. You need a loan officer, right? I'm in the real estate business, so that allows everything."
Yeah.
So if you're selling conferences compared to if you're selling,
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's one area that I've been thinking a lot about, just in the sense that I have thought about offering essentially like a subscription that people can get where they get more audio content, right? And so, and so then instead of selling sponsorships, I'm selling memberships. I'm not totally sold that one is necessarily better than the other. I don't know. I mean, that's one level that I have thought about, though, is just having paid media and what that would mean.
I mean, you're going away from everything you've built, which is your expertise is in selling sponsorships, and now you're going to sell memberships. Which is a complete, like you're going from a B2B business to a B2C business.
Yes.
That's a pretty big change.
Yeah, I mean, if I have a choice, I always want to be a B2B business if I have a choice, right?
Yeah.
Chuck doesn't agree right now.
No,
Yeah,
I'm really trying to evaluate the trade-offs. I mean, that's a pretty broad statement.
That I want to be a B2B business if I have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, there are B2C businesses that make it and do really, really well. So what I'm saying is I think generally you're correct, but how does that apply in this particular case? And I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, you're a sponsor. You do podcasts. You're a media company, really, at this point,
Yeah.
right? So you make your money from sponsorship revenue. It's hard to sell both unless you do something where you sell people on the idea of having commercial free. But look how that's worked out for YouTube. It doesn't work too well. It's not a good
or
model.
look at any like big media publications like Entrepreneur or Inc. or Fast Company. There is nothing.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
I guess part of what I'm looking at, though, is it wouldn't be commercial free, right? You wouldn't pay for the membership to get sponsorships removed from JavaScript Jabber, right? What you would pay for is you would pay for the other series that we're creating that are behind the paywall, right? So we'd have like a JavaScript basics, or here's what's coming in the next version of Angular, or
Yeah, so you're going to be selling courses.
I mean, yes and no. What I'm really thinking about is having another ongoing podcast, right? So it wouldn't be a course with like a start and a terminus. It would be, okay, you're paying for your membership, paying $5 or $10 or $30 or whatever we decide. And then you get access to, all right, you're going to get an episode of, JavaScript basics and an episode of this other, so you'd get focused content every week.
Yeah, and you have to sell that. It's not like what you're going to create. It's the selling that's the pain. Like anytime.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I can whip out like 20 different courses in the next 6 months, literally, on all sorts of topics that I could sell. But if I do that, I'll just go like the marketing and selling is the pain. And you really have to start thinking, like you really have to go from selling B2B sponsorships and getting on phones and closing sponsors and all of those things that you figured out to writing copy and creating email sales funnels and trying to sell all of this from like creating sales pages. And it's a completely different game. You're going to start learning marketing all over again. that kind of marketing.
Yeah, it's
Which
and then okay.
Yeah.
Then you have to compete with your sponsors too, which is not going to be good for your sponsorship because then you're going to have to advertise it on your podcasts. I mean, I don't know. I would just stick with your main focus. Like we were just talking. I was just talking to Manny the other day, and like the biggest thing is focus. Focus is the number one thing in business. Like losing focus is the worst possible.
Yeah, but the issue for me is that it's not working.
Is that sponsorship's not working?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to make it work. You got to get up the. I mean, so let's say that there's some number, like there's enough companies out there in the world that you could have 100% sponsorship on all your podcasts if you reach them. You just have to reach more companies. I mean, you do have a success rate.
Yeah,
right?
that I mean, there's something to that. The issue though too is that I have companies come in and they sponsor for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then they come back and they say, well, we're not getting the ROI because they're not doing proper marketing downstream. And so, I'm basically, I've had a few and they got all excited because they had a whole bunch of people opt in. But what it was people opted in, they got the t-shirt sent to them, and then they never did anything with a free trial. Or they got people to opt in and do a free trial, and then nothing came of it, right? And so they're not getting enough payoff on the other end of the deal to make it worth it.
Well, but that's just, but then you do have some longtime sponsors, right? That have been sponsoring you for a long time. And
pretty much all of them are gone at this point. And the one that was really pulling through long term that made the difference, they pulled out in November.
What was your podcast sponsorship revenue in December, or let's say December of last year, or Q4 of last year, or
Q4,
December of last year?
So that's
December.
where things just dropped out and fell apart. And I kind of got it to bump back up in January, but
how much was it? Like 20K, 30K?
No, not even.
Sponsorships only.
In Q4 of last year, yeah, it wasn't even that.
Per month.
Yeah, it wasn't even close to that.
What was it? Like 15, 10?
Probably like 5 or 10K tops.
Okay. And now where are you at?
On sponsorships?
Yeah.
Per month?
As of April. What was
probably
April?
Like 2 or 3K. Might have gotten to 5K in April.
Okay, I see why you're thinking about these things now. Shit. I mean, I still feel like your whole business is really the sponsorship business of selling the sponsorship, and that
are people wanting to sell more? Like, are they happier selling sponsorships or buying sponsorships on the conferences than on the podcast? Is that what's going on?
Some of them are. The other problem though is that like a lot of them want to kick the tires first, and so it's like, oh well, I'll just sponsor 1 or 2 episodes, which won't work. I promise you that won't work unless it's like it has to be such an obvious payoff for the listener. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. I've seen it work a couple of times, but it was a major obvious payoff. Or, like I said before, they got a whole bunch of people to sign up within the first week or 2 because they wanted the t-shirt.
Yeah. And
then nothing else happened. So they have some other lead magnet that gets people in the door. Yeah. But, so I've got some that'll sponsor for weeks or months at a time, but it's either because they're like true believers. In other words, they want to contribute to the community. They've picked us as the way that they do that, and they want our effort to continue, right? But the couple of those that I had, they've fallen on hard times because of the coronavirus thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of them basically said, if we get another client, we'll come back. And the other one basically said, well, they justified pulling out because of the ROI, but their offering isn't strong. And I've told them that, but anyway. So it feels like my job has turned from, going out and finding companies that want to sponsor a community effort like the podcast to basically training them on why their sales system sucks.
Well, okay. Here's okay. I have to ask you the hard questions, right?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So how many new leads have you gotten last week? And then how many did you contact and how many did you get on calls with?
Like cold leads that came to, or warm leads that came to me.
Cold.
No,
Cold
cold
leads
leads that you were
that
doing
you-
earlier.
Cold leads that I reached out to,
Yes.
40 or 50.
I want the exact number. Do you not have this in a spreadsheet of exactly how many people you're
I don't.
contacting? And okay.
Chuck, it's 43.
It could it's pretty close to that. I talked to so I have somebody that's working for me that's finding the companies and getting them into the system and doing some of that outreach. It's all automated, so it just sends them the email, the cold outreach email, and then does the follow-up for several weeks. But yeah, I haven't gotten any sponsorship calls from any of that.
No calls at all. Like have you gotten responses? How many responses have you gotten from your initial cold email outreach?
From last week,
Yeah.
maybe one or two.
Okay. Or actually, I guess it would be how many did you get last week? Not because we don't see the results until later, but how many?
Yeah,
replies
like
have you
one
gotten?
or two.
Out of like probably like 40 or 50. I'm assuming you had the
Yeah.
same volume in, and then okay, so then you're not going to get calls. So you need to contact more people. You need to. What I'm saying is this: it's like you've got to.
Some of this is suppressed because of the quarantine, right?
But okay.
Before the quarantine, I had about the same level of outreach, and I'd get 3, 4, maybe even 5, and I'd probably wind up with a sponsorship call or two.
Right. Okay. So here's what I'm saying. All right.
I mean, there was a time when you were having like 5 sponsorship calls a week.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Yeah.
days.
Okay.
I think the low hanging fruit, like the companies that are really easily identified as we have marketing budget that we're going to throw around for conferences or podcasts or whatever, we've hit pretty much all of those, and we're constantly looking at our competitors and seeing who they've got for sponsors and doing that kind of work and follow up. But it's just
Well, okay, let's say that prior to Corona, that your rate was, let's say that Corona caused your sponsorship rate, the number of people that would respond to sponsorships and buy sponsorship, to drop in half. Is that fairly accurate to say, or do you think it's more? I think
it's more than that. But I mean, to your point, when it comes back, I think we're going to wind up having a bunch of people that are willing to spend money on.
Well, okay, but
marketing.
There's nothing like when it comes back. Because I don't think you want to live by that concept at all. You want to operate.
Well, I'm not counting on it. If it happens, I'm going to be happy about it.
No. I'm saying you have to make it work. So okay, so is it fair to say 25% would be?
It's probably around there, 25-30%.
Okay, so if before you had to send out 100 cold reach emails to get one sponsor, now you have to send 400. But it's just simple math. So now you have to send 400. So like what I'm saying is that you've got to make this pipeline work. You've got to basically increase the number of cold outreaches that you do every month, every week, track exactly how many, track the response rate, track the follow-up, track the on the call, and then the conversion, and get the percentage rates of every single step along that funnel, along that pipeline. And then you have to work to improve each step along that pipeline so that you get higher people that go to the next level of the pipeline. And you just have to keep on doing that and just keep on improving that. And then you'll know what your throughput is, and you'll know what your conversion is. And then you'll have some exact math, and you can say, John, if I email 400 people this week, I'm going to get 2 sponsorships. I know it, because that's what the math tells me. And then you'll be able to consistently, then you'll be able to work backwards, and you'll say, okay, I need 8 sponsorships this quarter. All right, we're gonna have to send this many emails.
Mhm.
But if you can't do that, then you're not going to know for sure. And if it comes roaring back, then you know how awesome of a position you'll be in if you can make it work with
Yeah, that's true.
right now. So that's why this is so critical. I mean, on one hand, I understand you got to do what you got to do to survive, and that's but this is like the business model of your company, and you can't really shift this. I mean, if you go, that this model works, right? It has worked in the past at least, and even if it's harder, it still works. It's just harder. But as far as the subscription consumer model, you don't know that works, and that could be going down the completely wrong direction, and it's going to waste a lot of time and effort and energy. Whereas if you can nail this system down, you will have a huge company, a great company, because this is, I mean, you literally have a media company that that is large in the tech space,
Mhm.
like one of the largest ones. So that's why you've got to make this work as best as you can, but you've got to have the numbers exact, and you've got to be just constantly working that pipeline.
Yeah. I think I do need to just refocus and put some more effort into this. I'm
Because let's
I
just
think
look at the
Yeah.
membership model real quick, just realistically, right? How many memberships do you really think you're going to sell? Let's say that, I mean, you're not going to sell much higher than like a $10, maybe a $20 a month price point for what you're offering, right?
yeah,
Okay, so let's say a $10 a month price point. I mean, if you hit your whole list, how big is your list right now?
26,000.
Okay, if you hit your whole list, 26,000, I don't know, I would guess that maybe you could get, well, and you're going to be dividing this to a specific topic like JavaScript, right? So it's not going to be, I mean, JavaScript's pretty broad, but let's say that you got 300 people. That would be phenomenal.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
think that would be likely, but let's say you got 300 people at $10 a month. That's $3,000 a month of income.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, in time, in like 4 or 5 years, could you grow this to the point where you have like maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people? Sure.
Yep.
But you're not going to survive that long, especially if you're diverting, and you're going to be killing the goose that lays the golden eggs in order to do this. Whereas if you just invest as much as you can into your existing pipeline, your existing systems, and make it better so that you can convert sponsorships, I think you can convert more than 2 sponsors a month if you put 100% effort into it, which will be more than you'd make in the membership, at least initially, right? I mean, membership's great, but not at a very, very low price point. And I feel like you can't even do, I mean, if you do like a whole, consider like for a Bulldog Mindset membership, I'm charging $30 a month, but it's not just audio, it's like video every week. It's
Yeah.
a group. It's like, it's a bunch of different
and
things.
to be
Yeah.
fair, John's been selling the fuck out of it for the last 14 months, and I know this because I've seen it all evolve in the last 14 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single week, he's been selling the hell out of it.
No, I
And-
hear you. I mean, honestly, where I'm at right now, I mean, I've been putting most of my effort into the sponsorships and then into the conferences.
Yeah.
I could probably double down a little bit more on the sponsorships.
I mean, the
But,
conference
yeah.
business is a pretty interesting business right now.
Yeah.
It is. It has legs because of the current geopolitical or economic, socioeconomic
Yeah.
situation that we are living in. So
Yeah. But I don't know if we ever go back either.
Well,
ever is a big,
yeah.
broad question. I mean, yeah, how long will
Yeah.
it be? A year, 2, 3, whatever? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but long term is a
But
separate.
yeah. No, I hear you. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't put really much effort at all into the membership stuff, but I am thinking about, okay, does it make sense to put the increased work into the sponsorship stuff, or, is that, is this decline going to continue? Is it going to be permanent? And should I pivot? And that's where I'm at, is I'm just trying to figure out where I think that we're going to end up.
It's not going to be continual. It's not going to be permanent, and it has to balance out, because heck, just right now I'm just thinking, well, we can talk about this later, but okay, so you have less of a fill rate, right? So I'm just thinking, shoot, I could advertise, I can sponsor you. Like, there's probably something I can sponsor, right? Probably that remote workbook. I'd pay for some sponsorship slots on some of your podcasts for that, if you can, because it's worth it to me. So there's always going to be some.
Right.
I'm only using that as an example because there's always going to be someone who's going to want to advertise to your, and maybe your prices come down and they have to, because the demand is less. But then at some point you're going to reach the point where people are like, it's a no-brainer. Of course I'm going to advertise on and buy the sponsorship, because that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm like, oh shit, like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, shit, I should be taking advantage of this opportunity. This is a good chance for me to get some good sponsorship deals from your podcast, right? Like, because if other people aren't sponsoring, then sure, I'll take it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that opportunity is always going to exist there. So
yeah, that makes sense.
But we should talk about it. Actually, I would like to potentially. I think maybe sponsoring, doing for the remote workbook. I don't make much money on the remote workbook, but if you can give me a decent rate on a sponsorship slot, I would definitely pay you for it. So.
Yep. Yeah.
In fact, we don't even have to. What we can do is we can just work with whatever I'm earning you from the remote conf, and we can use that as a as payment. You've already got the money. So
yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, like, if I'm willing to do it, there's a ton of people that are willing to.
That's true. Yeah, I think, and one of the things that I've been wanting to do for a while too is just go and I need to rework my sponsorship page, because the information's a little bit hard to hammer out. So I think I'm gonna just convert it to like a pricing table and then just put the details in and make it easy to figure out what's going on there.
Here's a good one. You check this out. I just thought about this. So you're going after a lot of big companies right now, right? Or small companies, whatever, in the software industry.
Yeah.
What if you go into Udemy, right? And instead of having Udemy buy sponsorships, you go and you find successful course authors on Udemy, and you contact them and you're like, hey, do you want to sponsor my podcast to get more people your courses on Udemy? Like some of those guys are making a shit ton of money. Some of them are making $1 million a year. They're gonna be like, yeah, like, sure, I'll try $1,000 for a couple of months, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or more, right? So, and that would be a huge list of people, right? Or just find people like myself that are selling courses, right? That you can do either an affiliate deal or sponsorship with.
Yeah, that's another thing that's been on my list, is just to put some affiliate deals in there and see if I can sell those through the podcast. Maybe with an email campaign follow up, or something else, and just see what I can do to make that click.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well. You've got all that extra.
Yes.
Yep.
Like, especially with Udemy, affiliate deal is the way to go with them, because you can lure them in and say, hey, but the problem is this freaking course.
You're cutting in and out really bad, Manny.
He's going to say something about the course. I think he's going to say those courses suck. I don't know.
Well, some of them do, and some of them are like super cheap, or people only buy them when they're on sale, and so your affiliate commission on it's going to be like $1 or $2.
Well, that's why I'm saying have the authors of the courses buy sponsorship, because they'd be willing to do it. Just like with the remote workbook, right? I'm not, if I sponsor one of your podcasts for remote workbook, I'm not going to make money on it. It's going to be a negative, but I'll be promoting the book, and I'll be increasing the ranking in Amazon, which may hopefully increase the overall book sales. So it'd be worth it to me to do it that way. So
yeah, we should definitely figure something out there. But I think that's also an idea. Just reach out to people who have products in the space, and just sell the crap out of those. But like, I have an affiliate with West Boss. I have an affiliate with Egghead. I have an affiliate with Pluralsight. I've got an affiliate with, and so I could just, just go advertise a course on one of those for a while and do an email campaign follow-up, right? I've been talking about this on JavaScript Jabber forever, right? Go check it out and then see what we can do to make that, come through. And yeah, if I pull off, $1,000 or a couple $1,000 worth in the affiliate deal. The other thing is then I have a case study, right? Because then I can go to somebody else and I can say, hey, look, this is what I did with this course. I sold $5,000 worth. Yeah, I made $2,000 worth in affiliate. But yeah, at the end of the day,
I think every course creator wants a platform. If anything, you could charge them to appear on your thing.
Well, that would be the deal, right? Is I would also, if I approach them, that's what I would offer. Is I'd be like, look, here's the package. You get 12 weeks of sponsorship message. You get to come on the podcast as a guest because they're obviously knowledgeable enough to make a course that people are going to buy.
You can basically you can offer them some sort of interview is the only way to sell courses. I really think when it comes to Udemy kind of stuff, they need to get interviewed, they need to teach, and then they can offer a discount and they can sell or something like that. And hopefully that can create if you bring one of those every week and create an affiliate relationship with each of them, that would make some dough.
Yep, sounds good. By the way, I have a hard stop in like 9 minutes.
Okay, we should probably do our thoughts. But one last thing I'll say on this is that you need to get your numbers. You need to know your numbers cold. You need to know how much revenue you're generating from sponsorships every month. You need to know how many leads, how many follow-ups, all this. Because if you don't have those numbers, you're not gonna know what, because there's a lag time on this. So you've got to have your numbers.
Yep.
I hear you there. You got more applications for the mastermind?
I only have 3 so far. I'm going to reach out to ex-coach in clients that cancel their coaching at some point and see.
Have you sent a bunch of
doing like a
emails?
Weekly mastermind or something? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah. I launched this.
Okay.
I was going to launch it later, but I decided to go ahead and do it now, like a beta version of it, so I can start working on the.
How many emails have you sent already?
I think just the one to the members. So I haven't sent to the main list yet. So.
Yeah. And no announcement on YouTube either?
No. I'm sticking to members first and then expanding from there. So.
Okay.
I got a little bit sidetracked. Big news is Rodrigo quit. He's gave me his 2 weeks notice. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He got poached by Podia. I know you guys are watching this podcast, hear me talking about Rodrigo all the time, bastards, but it's all right. I'm happy for him though. Podia seems like a good company and they have some really good benefits and everything. So I think, Rodrigo's good. He deserves whatever's the best. So I hate to lose him, but at the same time, I want him to, he's been with me for 5 years, so almost 5 years. So anyway, but someone watching this podcast poached him, I'm guessing. Considering that we use Podia and Podia had a relationship with Josh, it's a little, a little coincidental.
Yeah.
But hey, it's okay. It's all right. As long as it's good for Rodrigo, I'm happy. So, and we're working out the new replacement system. So, and Rodrigo says actually he can still work some part-time stuff. So.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to throw out a thought and then jump off because I've got to jump on this other call.
Okay.
But yeah, for me, it's really just been thinking deeply about, where things are, where I think things are going to go, and then making a call. And, I don't know where all of this is going to end up. That's why I'm talking to you guys about it. But, at the end of the day, you just do the best you can. And, work the system. But yeah, I do. I definitely need numbers on my sponsorship process, because then I can start experimenting to figure out what's working and what's not working.
In fact, that's going to be my thought, is numbers, metrics, track them. So I just started tracking my calories about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, every single day, every single thing I eat, every calorie that I eat. It's a little tedious. It's actually not that hard once you get used to it in MyFitnessPal. But now I'm making ridiculous progress. Like my body fat is just, today I got on the scale, lowest I've ever read, 6.9%.
-3%.
Yeah, no, 6.9%. Now I'm obviously not actually at 6.9, but it's relative to the scale. The scale started at 13%. Now it's showing 6.9. So everything else I've ever done, it's like working really hard, trying with these things. The thing that works the most every single fucking time is tracking, having the numbers. And that's why, same thing with you, Chuck. It's like, if you start tracking, you will start making progress. But we're so resistant to track. We don't want to track. We don't want to do it. But when you start tracking things, that's when you make progress. It's absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna add on to that thought, because I think my earlier thought kind of sucked. And that is, no, it's interesting because, for example, when I first found out I was diabetic, I was 26, so it's what, 14 years ago, give or take. And anyway, I didn't want to know, right? Because I didn't want the bad news. And I think a lot of times we sabotage ourselves because we don't want the bad news, right?
Exactly.
We don't want the bad news that, it turns out that you're eating about 100 grams of carbs that you didn't know you were eating, right? Because you weren't tracking, right? You weren't scanning into MyFitnessPal the protein bar that you were eating, and you just didn't want to know that it had the sweetener in it,
right?
Or whatever, right? And so, but once you start tracking, you get the bad news, but then you can adjust, and that's kind of the aha, I guess, I'm having for this week, is just that, if I start tracking, okay, I'm reaching out to so many people, and then I'm having a certain number convert, then I can go back into my automation sequence, and I can change it, right? And I can run an updated automation sequence for a few weeks and see if the number goes up.
Yep, exactly.
And then, just kind of work that over and over and over again. So,
yep, that's the key.
And my thought is that if you're working from home, you need structure, and you need even more structure, and even more structure than you ever thought you would need, especially the more you're surrounded by people. Because without structure, you're a giant mess.
Yeah.
Because people will pull you in all different directions at all different times for all different things, and you have no idea before you wasted hours and hours on stuff that you didn't set boundaries on. So
yeah,
that's one of the most important working from home things I can really figure out: structure and boundaries.
Yep, I agree 100%. All right, guys. See you guys next week. Better buy some Bitcoin.
Why? How much is
Bitcoin?
it?
10,000. It went back up to 10,000. So it's about the half.
No.
So, yeah.
Tomorrow you're going to say buy Dow because it's up to 29,000.
It's going to drop down below 15. So
where is that happening?
Just wait.
All right.
All right, guys.